KTSA News Time, 11:26. Jack Riccardi, 10 to 1. It's our Gang of Four for a Friday morning, and not just any Friday. We're kicking off Labor Day weekend here on KTSA. On the gang today, we have Gilbert Garcia, Yami Vidin, and I can't pronounce Lyle Larson's name now. It's just, I just had a Jan Brewer moment. All right, so this is our lightning round. We'll go through some stories very quickly here, starting with this one. It looks like sometime this fall, the Supreme Court will rule on the free speech rights of this group called the Westboro Baptist Church. They're the people that go to these military funerals around the country and stage these really rude protests, carry these offensive signs and heckle the grieving family and so forth and so on. Apparently one of the families of one of these fallen soldiers is suing them and saying this brought us a lot of distress and grief and affected our health. And the church is saying in return, we have a free speech right. Do they have the right to disrupt these military funerals?
I don't believe they do. I mean, you're citing a riot if you look at the people that attend it and how upset they are. I've seen some stories about these guys going in, and basically the families are grieving, and they're throwing a lot of hate mongering, a lot of epitaphs that are not flattering, and it had nothing to do with the soldier. It has nothing to do with the military. It has to do with their ideology, and I think that we ought
to be able to stop them.
We ought to be able to cite, because they'll cite riots. I mean, there is free speech, but I think when it comes to something like this, there's got to be a boundary.
But Gilbert, people will say it's precisely the most odious and distasteful speech that you have to defend. That's what it's about.
And that's generally what I would say. I mean, I think their behavior is indefensible. And whether they have a legal right to, I mean, I would tend to say they do, though I'm in no way defending what they do. And the point you make about inciting a riot, that would be, I think, the strongest argument to make against their legal right to do this. But I tend to feel like the society we live in sort of allows for odious expressions of opinion, and this is, I think,
but you're a military family.
Wow.
I mean, you got to have strong feelings about this.
Gosh, let me tell you something. My dad just passed away in July, and when they gave me that American flag at that National Cemetery up in Pennsylvania, that was the most touching and the proudest moment of my life. I can't imagine these families going through that and people screaming at them. As a reporter, I believe they have a right to what they say, but not there. It's not the right place. Find somewhere else to do it, because that is my time. That is my time to reflect upon the sacrifices of my loved one, and how dare you disrupt it.
Yeah. Well, and you kind of wonder too if they are ruled against, it almost builds their case. It almost makes them look like martyrs for what they're saying. I think they would love to lose this case before the Supreme Court. I think because if you know what, if they do have the right to do this, they're going to keep doing it for a while, and eventually they're going to go away. You know,
well, it might be a strange comparison, but I mean, Larry Flint became a First Amendment martyr, and if they let him do what he was doing,
we wouldn't have heard any more about
it.
Yeah. This is a bizarre story. I don't know if you heard this or not this week. Very strange story. A California doctor, obsessed with a man she had an on and off relationship with, tried to get into his home by sliding down the chimney. Who thinks they can? I don't even want to clean my chimney. Who thinks they can get in? So anyway, here's the story of what happened when she did it.
Birds barely get by into a chimney, how let alone a human being who happens to be, a doctor.
Victor Munoz lives next door on La Mirada Drive. Inside this chimney, the body of Dr. Jacqueline Katerick was found early Sunday morning. Her sister told me she graduated from medical school with honors. Her office was closed when we went by.
I do believe she is the owner's girlfriend.
Police say Katerick went to the house Wednesday. Her boyfriend left, and she apparently tried to get in. She didn't show up at work the next day, and her assistant and the boyfriend checked the house, then found her things in the backyard.
Her purse was there with her phone, all her money, all her credit cards, all that stuff.
Everyone thought she was missing. Bill, us, Everyone was looking for her.
But no sign of Katerick. And Thursday night, police say the boyfriend stayed at the house before leaving for Europe.
Friday night, we could smell something.
Neighbors didn't make a connection.
Someone down the street said they thought they heard someone yelling quietly for help.
They thought that might be kids playing in a nearby pool. Police say Saturday someone came to feed pets, noticed a smell, and saw the woman just 2 feet above the fireplace opening.
When they chipped away at the fireplace, you could hear them jackhammering and chipping away.
It took 5 hours to remove the body. Police say there was a permanent ladder, and they think Katerick climbed up and slid down the flue.
It's really sad to see that this had happened to such a great individual.
Katerick was voted a favorite local doctor last year.
How does anyone think about going down the chimney?
I mean, I guess the story, what you take away from a story like this is that even very intelligent people kind of become irrational in love, right? Gilbert, you're nodding like maybe have you had a
I haven't had a,
you haven't
a chimney moment,
been any chimneys?
It's hard to explain. I mean, it's just a level of obsession that it's kind of hard for me.
I
to relate
said
to.
when we had the story, I said, if you told me a guy did this, it wouldn't faze me at all. There's nothing you could tell me a guy would do over a woman that would be too that I couldn't believe or inconceivable. I'm just surprised. Normally women don't.
Yeah, I've never heard anything like this. It's really a tragedy.
I don't know if are you flattered? Are you? I mean, if you're the guy, I mean, is this? I don't know if this is flattering or horrifying, or you never get over it, or
just I would think that he probably wasn't that much into her, and she was way over the top as far as her affection towards him.
Yeah, just break a window.
Unfortunately,
I know, that's what I was thinking. I would have. First of all, I wouldn't break the window. I would pay someone to break the window.
There you go. So she's thought this out.
Yeah.
She's like, I'd get in there. I'd be in there already. All right, and then we had this guy take hostages in the Discovery Channel building. I don't know about you, but when I think of TV channels that have controversial programming, the Discovery Channel is not high on my list. And it turns out he really had a problem with some. I don't know if it was Shark Week, but he had a problem with some of the stuff that they were doing. And
his environmental stuff, right?
Yeah.
Is there
well,
environmental
he felt that they were promoting people having parasitic babies. I thought that was on TLC.
Well, he was mad about that too.
Was he?
Kate plus
that was on his manifesto.
He was very angry about it.
Is this guy a terrorist, Yami? We cover a story like this. Is this terrorism or just somebody going crazy?
I don't know. I need to think about this one. I mean,
he's a zealot. He's an extremist and he's pushing his agenda. You wonder if he's lonely. He was watching a lot of TV, and he became obsessed with what he was watching. He felt like, well, I've got to change this to save the world, and he sort of took the onus on his back to run out and try to make a statement. And then I think he got so far into it, and he had explosives, and he had a gun. And then wasn't it explosive attached to his body or something like that?
Yeah.
And then he's willing to and you wonder how far he was willing to go. I think based on the overtures he was making, they did the right thing as far as the SWAT team getting in position before he hurt a bunch of people, because if he had explosive, he could have killed a number of people in that building.
It's also puzzling that they say, Gilbert, he was sort of awakened or inspired to his zealotry by the Al Gore movie. Because most of us actually fell asleep during the Al Gore movie. So how a guy watching the Al Gore movie
gets... person, who was
it was like fired up after watching.
If it had been the Home Shopping Network, then there might be a legal
some shopper's remorse there.
But I don't know.
That's a tough one to figure.
I mean, if it was Al Gore, he probably should have just got a massage. I think that would have probably been more in line with
what were the people in the Discovery Channel building thinking? They're like, we're the Discovery Channel.
I know.
What do they want with us? Who wants to hurt us?
He didn't like Shark Week. Are you kidding me?